Hello, friends. Welcome to this Saturday morning video with the Bishop here in the North Alabama Conference. With me today are Reverend Ricky Smith, Guntersville First United Methodist Church Senior Pastor, and Reverend Terry Bentley, District Superintendent in the Mountain Lakes District. We are talking about a successful experiment by the Guntersville First United Methodist Church, which they started this past summer. Ricky, tell us about this ministry in the park and how it's going in your congregation.
Well, thank you for this opportunity, Bishop. As we all well know, worship is vital to the spiritual life of the church. So after 2.5 months of online worship only due to the pandemic, Guntersville First launched an outdoor worship service at Civitan Park, which borders Lake Guntersville. Worship at the lake, as we call it, would be an alternative to indoor worship. On June the 7th, we provided a single outdoor worship service as a way to regather our worshiping community in a safe environment. We felt like outdoor worship was the safest way to regather with respect to our most vulnerable people. The following Sunday, we continued to provide the outdoor service while also regathering for indoor worship on campus with safety measures in place. So that's where our beginning began.
That's great, Ricky. And so how has this ministry in the park been both a worship opportunity and also an outreach effort in the Guntersville First United Methodist Church?
Our original plan was that Guntersville First would provide an outdoor worship service with blended worship elements to attract both our traditional and our contemporary attendees. We would do that through the month of June as we transition back to indoor worship. Now, Civitan Park is our location, and it's known and used by the community at large. Our senior associate pastor, Mark Mayo, would be the primary speaker there. And as we continued through the month of June with outdoor worship, we hoped that it would be an avenue for evangelism. The success of the outdoor worship service made it obvious that we needed to continue the service as long as weather would actually permit. Success to Guntersville First was defined as our congregates gathering for worship at the lake, and even more so, the community gathering together with us for worship. And we were very pleased at what we saw. Community members sat on their front porch to worship with us. Some of the more vulnerable people would park their cars close to the worship area and remain in their cars for worship. It's interesting to know that our worship space was located under the canopy of trees in the park at a loop in the walking trail. So often people walking the trail would stop for worship. Some of the parents at the nearby playground would let their children play while they listened to worship. One of the highlights of worship at the lake last summer took place on August the 9th when we held our confirmation service at worship at the lake. It was a huge success and it was well attended. The atmosphere of worship was very reverent and meaningful, especially under the canopy of the trees with Lake Guntersville in the background. Parents and confirmands sat on their chairs while the younger children were on blankets on the ground. Confirmation Sunday was a great day for outdoor worship for Guntersville First, and we look forward to the opportunity for having outdoor worship yet again this spring.
Wow, Ricky, I can picture that worship experience. I know that it's had an amazing impact upon the people who've participated from the community and from your church. How has it impacted Guntersville First United Methodist Church?
Well, it's given us a new avenue of outreach and evangelism. We always look for new opportunities, and in the past, Guntersville First has hosted worship services at the lake, but not on a consistent basis. So now as we saw our numbers grow through the summer, in June, we had an average of 78. July, the average was 106. August, 142. September, 161. As we saw that average grow and we saw more new faces gather with us, we thought this is something we need to continue to do. The community was reacting in a way that we had hoped and prayed they would react. And we have found a new and effective way to reach out to the community. One of the things we have to remember is the obvious. Guntersville is a lake community. Involving the lake and the outdoors in worship and ministry is a wise approach to take, we believe. We are now in prayer and conversation among the staff and the church members about when we'll regather for worship at the lake. It may be as soon as Easter Sunday. We have the space reserved for spring, summer, and fall. I was informed in staff this morning that some of our more senior members of our church are already asking, when will we be back at the lake for worship?
Thank you, Ricky. That's great. Terry, you're the Mountain Lakes District Superintendent, where Guntersville First is located. What are your thoughts about this experiment?
Well, Bishop, I'm so thankful for the staff and leadership of Guntersville First United Methodist Church. They have provided both a place of worship and also an outreach to the entire Guntersville community. In these trying days, this has been a powerful, positive witness to the general church about the power of worship and the power of witness. And for any churches that might like to use this model, please feel free to contact Guntersville First United Methodist Church or the Mountain Lakes District if you have questions or would like details. And my prayer is that all your work will be blessed for the sake of the kingdom.
Terry and Ricky, thank you so much for sharing this story with us today. And thank you both for your ministries in Guntersville and in the Mountain Lakes District. Also, we appreciate very much those who have viewed this video today. Blessings to you in your ministry and outreach.